Okay, one second. Let me just double check that you guys can hear me. We're starting in a minute. We're starting. Yep. All right. All right. Assalamu alaikum, family. So, welcome to today's live stream. And I'm so glad that you guys are here with me, that you're listening in. Whether you're a new Muslim, a seasoned revert, or simply just someone curious about Islam, this is the space for you. You heard it right. So today this is live stream is called New to Islam. Let's talk about the struggles, the triumphs. We're just navigating the pressures of being a new Muslim, right? So today we're diving into the topic that mm, it hits home for so many of us. We're navigating the pressures of being a new Muslim. So, from learning prayers, facing cultural expectations to deal with reactions of loved ones, it can feel like a lot. But don't worry, you're not alone. We're in this together. I've built a whole entire community in hopes for everyone to feel supported and loved throughout the process, throughout their process, right? So before we begin, make sure that you drop your questions or your experience in the chat. Um, so you never know what you will say about your experience that might influence or encourage others in a positive way. So don't be shy to share in the chat your experience as a new Muslim. Um, I'll try my best to respond as we go. Let's make this interactive space for everyone. Um, so yeah, first thing I want to talk about is the emotional side of becoming a Muslim, right? For many, reverting is a deep spiritual and personal decision. You might feel a mix of emotions, right? Some might feel joy, peace, some might feel confusion, or maybe even fear. And everything that you're feeling, it's okay. You're human. When I personally embraced Islam, I remember feeling this overwhelming sense of connection to Allah. But I also face moments of doubts and insecurity. Why? Because I was learning and I am still learning to navigate a completely new way of life. And a part of why I made this channel is so that everyone, you know, can, everyone's navigating and learning process. I'm hoping it will help others defeat like this imposter syndromes that as reverts I feel like we have. Um, though through me being like raw and real and somewhat embarrassing at times, I'm hoping that my journey will influence others to know that they are enough. Can you relate? Like, let me know in the chat if you've ever felt this way too, if you've ever had like this imposter syndrome as a new Muslim, right? So now let's get into something you might face as a new Muslim, right? Um, One second here. Um, so one of the biggest things that I find difficult is learning the basics quickly, right? You might feel like you need to know everything right away, how to pray, memorize surahs, dress a certain way. But let me be the first to let you know it's a journey, a baby. Start small. Focus on perfecting your salah step by step. There is no right or wrong way on like how to start. Just start. Just do it, right? So some quick tips. Apps like Nazam app or resources like my Notion Islamic Hub, which I can share a link later if you guys want, are great for beginners because it has information on there on like helping you like perfect your salah and being able to start, right? I'm planning on starting to learn something new. I'm planning on starting to learn the Quranic Arabic soon, and I'm gonna do it live here with you guys. So if you're open to learning together, then feel free to join. Like I said, you don't give yourself unrealistic expectations when you'll get it all done. You know, Allah sees your effort, and that's all that matters. So there's a lot of people that are Muslim today that Arabic wasn't their first language. So you as a new Muslim shouldn't be like, oh, I need to learn, I need to know how to like say all these things in the Quran like ASAP. No, take your time, ease yourself into it. So I'm probably gonna embarrass myself trying to learn Quranic Arabic with you guys on live, but that's part of the journey. We're gonna make mistakes. So just be here with me as I learn, right? Um, so the second thing I would want to talk about is family and friends reactions, right? So this one is can be tough depending on your family or your friends. Some of your loved ones might not understand your choice of becoming Muslim, and that's okay. Remember, patience and kindness are key. You don't have to explain everything right away, so let your actions show the beauty of Islam. You don't need to talk about it. You don't need to explain it. Show it. So some people will tell you that you have to tell everyone right away, the moment you revert, the moment you become a Muslim. I've been told that before. But baby, her baby, that is not true. L- that is not true. When you feel ready and you pray to Allah to make it easy for you to share with other people about this new way of life that you took up, you know, then you let them know. But you don't feel like you're forced or rushed to having to tell your family and friends that you've reverted. I've been reverted for some time now, and my dad still has no clue. Um, just because like my family on that side is very like religious, and um, I want to make sure that when I do tell him I'm at a place in my faith where if I end up losing him, I can strongly hold on to Allah. So if you've experienced this, having difficulties or reflecting on sharing your story in about your to your family or friends, and share it in the chat. It might help someone um, hearing about your experience and how you've overcome those challenges. But sometimes fellow Muslims might unintentionally overwhelm you with advice or cultural practices, and it's important to differentiate between what's Islamic and what is culture. And if you're unsure, then seek from trusted sources or knowledgeable mentors. If you don't have anyone, the most important thing as a new revert is to use reasoning, use your mind. And that got you to revert in the first place, because if you weren't using your mind, you wouldn't have gotten here. So you should find your own truth, verify what people are telling you, because you don't want to take everything that everyone is saying as face value to be concrete. Remember that Allah loves those who use their mind and those who are insincere in seeking knowledge. So don't allow these community expectations to overwhelm you as you're coming into Islam. So let's shift gears and talk about how to navigate these challenges, right? Because it's hard. So the first, I have about, I would say, 4 steps on like what I find to be useful. And if you guys have any additional tips and tricks, then please put so in the comments. But the first thing is to take it one step at a time. Focus on the basics, your beliefs in Allah, Salah, gradually learning more. Islam isn't about perfection, it's about consistent growth. If you think about the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and when Islam, like when everything was revealed to him, Allah didn't just give him everything at once and said, "Here, hold it and go with it." It gave it to him time over time, and it was learned step by step, um and with him being consistent and growing, with the community and in Allah. So as reverts, give yourself that same grace that you have to take things step by step, one at a time. The second thing, number two, is to build your support system. Find a mentor, join a reverse support group like Wally, or connect with your local masjid. If you don't know where to start, I host events like Reverts Mingle series and have accountability buddy programs. You're welcome to join us. We have a Discord. We can become that support system for you. That's what Wally's about, a non judgmental place where you can learn about Islam and become your best version of yourself. Um, you can find that in my YouTube bio. But the third thing, and this one is so important, I can't emphasize on this enough, set boundaries. It's okay to say, I'm still learning. Don't let anyone make you feel like you're not Muslim enough. Your relationship with Allah is what truly matters, okay? Um, so sometimes people will be like, "Oh, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, haram, haram, haram." Take it up with Allah. They're human, you're human. You are Muslim enough. You are actively trying, and that's more than most, okay? It's more than most. And then fourth thing is a little knowledge every single day goes a long way. Whether it be you're reading books, watching lectures, don't hesitate to ask questions. Okay. Don't become so like in your head that you are scared to ask questions. You know, there is no shame in not knowing, there's only shame in not trying, okay? Um, my Islamic Resource Hub has tons of free Islamic books that you guys can check out. And I also do like weekly newsletters as well to help you guys tap into Allah. And like it has like journal entries that you could do every week and be connected to Allah and motivate you to learn something new. All right. So let's open the floor. What are some challenges that you face as a new Muslim or currently as a Muslim, like someone that was born into Islam? How did you overcome them? If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and let's learn from each other. Let's talk about it. So I'm gonna wait a few seconds, give you guys a few seconds to share what that is in the chat. Um, and I'll just wait here with you guys to see. I'll give you guys like a minute or two. I would love to hear, what challenges you face as Muslims or as new Muslims, how you've overcome it, or just any questions that you guys have. You know the waiting sound? Waiting, 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 waiting. I'll just give it one more minute. I really want to hear what you guys have to say about challenges that you've overcome as Muslims. Let me know what your challenges are. Okay. All right. Okay. So no one has anything to say. No biggie. Well, I hope whenever someone else watches or listens to this, they can share in the comments their challenges. Let me start by sharing, right? I'll do it. I'll start. I'll volunteer. For me currently, the challenge that I'm facing as a new Muslim is the lack of time. So, with working full time, doing certification courses, having some side gigs, moving at the end of this month, and a lot of other personal matters, it feels like time is just, there's not enough time of it. Like, I feel like the days are just, they're going in a matter of seconds, right? And I feel like sometimes I don't have enough time to learn and dedicate to Allah. So, you know, I feel like I didn't have the discipline needed in the beginning to be consistent. Um, in my journey. The way that I overcome that, or the way that I am overcoming that, because I feel like this is a active, like a constant battle, feeling like there's not enough time in the day to do what I need to do, right? The way I'm planning to overcome that, and the way that I did overcome that, is by creating this YouTube channel and learning to give myself grace. I can't express enough as no Muslims how important it is to give ourselves grace. This community and this channel forces me to learn more about Islam every day and to get closer to Allah. It encourages me to read, and I have a sense of guilt when I don't. Basically, it holds me accountable, mashallah. um it's so good to be held accountable, and that's what this channel does. And I'm hoping that this channel for other people will become a source of motivation for them to also be held accountable, to spend time with Allah, even if it's just a few seconds, by watching the videos that we post. Also, I overcome it by giving up time, doing things that I like to do, and instead I would do something that's, like, I guess, Islamic. For example, way back when I used to watch TV a lot or play a lot of games, like as a way for me to de stress at the end of the day. But now, what I do, when I have time, instead of like immediately getting off work and going to watch TV, sometimes I spend the time with Allah, um, you know, um, and do other things to wrap up my day. That's like Islamic focus. I use Allah as a form of de-stressor. That's what I would say. So remember, your journey is beautiful and you're not alone on this journey. I just want you guys to remember that. So, we're talking about struggles and triumphs, as being new to Islam. So, some victories I would say is just being able to accept Islam in our life. That's such a huge win, because before Islam, I wasn't living in my truth, right? Like, I didn't get to revert to my original state. So, it's a victory to now be called Muslim, especially for someone like me who started where it's like, I was that one friend that everyone was like, "Oh, she's Muslim." When in reality, I will always correct them. Nope, I am not Muslim. I'm not Muslim. I'm not Muslim. I'm not Muslim. um, and little did I know that all along I really was Muslim. I really was. I was just running away from something that Allah always wanted from me, and I think that it itself is a victory. Um, so yeah, we talked about like a lot of the struggles, right? Um, so the main thing is just to remember we're all on a journey. Whether you're born into Islam, you're still on a journey. Whether you're new to Islam, you're still on a journey. Whether you're just curious about Islam and you're learning, you're on a journey. And that journey is beautiful. And you're never alone. If you're watching this video or listening to this, you're a part of this community. So that means that you have that support, you have people in your corner that's going to support you along your journey, and not judge you along your journey. So before we wrap up, I just want to remind you that being Muslim isn't about being perfect. Okay. Sometimes we live in a world where social media is first and foremost. So we have this misconception that there is a perfect image of what a Muslim looks like. But I want to tell you today that I just want to remind you that being Muslim is not about being perfect, okay? Just because you see someone come on social media and present to you a form of their self, you don't know what they are off camera. So you shouldn't take that, as face values. Everyone has their own things that they got going on in life off camera. So it's okay to look up to someone in a sense, but you should always just remember in the back of your head, they're not perfect, you know. Um, I want to strive to be like someone that's in the Quran. I want to strive to be like the version of myself that Allah deems fit. I'm not going to strive to be like someone else because at the end of the day, no one is perfect. And at the end of the day, being Muslim isn't about being perfect, right? It's about striving to for Allah's pleasure, to please Allah. That's what being Muslim is about at core. It's not about being perfect. So as reverts, we have like sometimes the Muslim community isn't as welcoming as it should be, and like it like overwhelms you with like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, all in the beginning. But and they give you the sense of like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough to be Muslim because I'm not the perfect Muslim that they're telling me that I need to be. But honey, baby, that is not true. That's not valid. Don't let those things get to your head. Don't let those things like bring you down or weigh you down. I'm here to tell you again, I'm here to remind you that being a Muslim is not about being perfect. It's about striving for Allah's pleasure to please Him. So embrace your journey with sincerity and don't let the pressure that you put on yourself, as someone that's born into Islam, sometimes you put that pressure on yourself, or someone that's new to Islam or just learning about Islam, you put that pressure on yourself. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Too much of something is never good because it could unfortunately make it feel like Islam is so hard and that you can't do this anymore. It can make you give up on Islam, astaghfirullah. So don't put too much pressure on yourself and don't allow the other influences, like the outside influences of other Muslims or, non-believers to also get in your head while you're on your journey. Don't allow it to steal your joy of being Muslim. Okay. Your journey is just that. It's your journey. It's between you and Allah. That's it. So, whatever anybody else has to say, listen to it, but do not take it to heart if it contradicts with the Quran or if it contradicts with what Allah wants for you. If someone says something to you and it gives you this feeling inside your heart, then I advise you to go and pray about it to Allah and ask Allah to guide you in what you need to do with what's weighing heavy on your heart and on your mind. Do not, I can't emphasize enough about this. Do not allow these pressures that you put on yourself or the pressures of others to steal your joy of Islam. And just remember, that your journey is beautiful. You're not alone. Being Muslim isn't about being perfect. It's about striving to please and serve Allah. That's it. So, if you're looking for more resources, check out our Notion Islamic Hub I created. It's packed with tons of tools and resources to help you on your journey, and I'll link it in the comments below if that's something that you guys are interested in. Actually, let me share my screen. I can show it to you guys now. One second. Um, and thank you guys for being here as well. Feel free to let me know in the comments like the thing you might be struggling on your journey or like the wins that you face on your journey. But so this is what I'm talking about, right? This is the Islamic Hub that I've been talking about. If you guys want the weekly newsletter, then sign up for it there. But this is very useful because we have an Islamic literature library where you could have here tons of free books from science, history, women rights, about the Prophet, peace be upon him, everything you could think of, a family, being a new Muslim, everything, free books. It's free, free, here. Then you have different Qurans and translations, history, priors, everything that you need is here. Then you have a digital resource. I think this is very, very useful. Like I mentioned before, there's this app called the Nizam app. There's a few apps that I use. I'm gonna open my phone to show you guys. So there's this app. It's called the Nizam app. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then there's the other app. It's called the Azkar app. There's a lot of really great apps out there that we put here in Muslim friendly apps, like as you're on your journey, and helpful like websites that you could use as well. We also have a what is it called? A Quizlet that you could use to learn the different Quran verses and stuff like that. And our Discord. So if you're feeling like you don't have that support that you need, that non-judgmental support, then feel free to also join our Discord where we will be happy to support you, non-judgmental community. Um, and there's even Islamic games, like if you're hanging out with someone and you want to play some games, like everything here. And we're hoping to, there's like revert matching services. So if you're a revert and you want to get to know someone that was born Muslim, um, to kind of be like a mentor to you, we have a form that you could fill out for that. Or like even if you're looking for accountability buddy, someone, especially with Ramadan coming up, like if you're looking for someone to hold you accountable of like making sure that you read the Quran every day, or maybe you're trying to learn Quranic Arabic, whatever it is that you need to be kept accountable for, we have that form here that you could get partnered with someone to be your accountability buddy. Um, and we have a lot of like different things. Like if you have questions that you don't feel comfortable asking here on my lives or like on my YouTube, there's a form that you could fill out for that as well. Hopefully one day, inshallah, we'll be able to start getting funding where we'll be able to give reverts like, kits when they first come into Islam. Um, that's like one of our biggest goals. But anyways, yeah. So that's what I was mentioning about the Islamic Resource Hub. It's something that's definitely going to be useful on your Islamic journey, because I think sometimes as new Muslims, like if you don't have a masjid near you and you're like figuring this out by yourself online, it's like, where do I start? Like, there's so much information. I don't even know like which Quran I need to use or like what to narrow down. That's what that hub is going to be able to help you guys with. But yeah, so we discussed a lot of things, right? Navigating the pressures of being a new Muslim, and talking about the struggles and how to overcome those struggles. Really looking forward to hearing you guys like experience and how you've overcome those imposter syndromes and those struggles that you've had as well. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments. I would love to interact and speak with you guys. But if not, then just thank you for being here. Another thing that I can think of as a victory, right? We're talking about the wins as a new Muslim. I would say one of my biggest wins would be this YouTube channel. Um, but anyways, I could go on and on, but thank you for spending your time with me today. Don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who might benefit from, getting these resources or having these little tips or nuggets or advice, and subscribe for more content like this. Until next time, assalamu alaikum. And I'm also going to be live streaming tomorrow. So I hope that you guys can be there. The stream that I'm doing tomorrow is more chill. It's just like a calm Islamic learning session where we're just going to be studying together and learning about Islam together. I think I might actually do my first Quranic Arabic course with you guys tomorrow on there. I'm not 100% sure, but tune in if you're just looking for a space to learn something new with me. That's going to be tomorrow around, let me tell you what time, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I hope to see you guys there. And thank you for listening today. And please don't forget to like this video. And I can't express how much I appreciate your support. Bye. Salam.